welcome back to another episode of Happiness Matters, the show with me, Beanie Man, and Mo the service dog, who's happily chewing on something down here. And I'm excited for my guest today, Kim Green, and we met, I don't even know how long ago.
Oh, 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe even 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, and I don't even remember how we met.
I think we met through the radio station.
So the radio station?
Yeah, I had my radio show and you were just starting yours.
Okay, yeah, so my friend Rachel and I, we had a radio show, Happy News. No, imagine that, had to do with happy.
A happiness.
I know, right? So that's awesome. So, and I was going to tell you all what Kim does, but it's this long and I didn't write it down.
That's fine. I'm a very verbose person, so I can't pare anything down.
That's okay. So tell us a little bit. I know you have a school that involves wellness.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that real quick.
Okay, so well, basically I have an occupational trade school.
Okay.
And we are a national-oriented school.
Very nice.
And I've been practicing for 27 years, holistic health. So I was around before a lot of the products, a lot of the sales kind of stuff was around.
Before it became the in thing.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the in thing here in Colorado until 2013.
Oh, wow.
Because before 2013, all holistic health was illegal.
Right.
And so there was a group of us and myself that spent 14 years making holistic health legal.
Oh,
and
nice.
so it finally changed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. So we did that, and that was a really beautiful thing that we could do on a voluntary basis. We just did it because it was the right thing to do.
And it's necessary. Yes. It was necessary, and it still is. I mean.
Yeah, it's very necessary. So we changed the laws, and then since 2004, I've had school where I teach holistic health, I teach advanced body work, I teach my own form of somatic trauma release and advanced body work to work with pain, disease, all those kinds of things.
That's awesome.
And the name of the school is called Advanced Therapy Institute of Touch. I told you I was very, very long-winded. But I'm really excited about being able to share my classes with people because, I have mentors that have taught me, just with 5 mentors, they have over 300 years of experience.
That's
in their
amazing.
brains.
Right.
Because they're so old, they're in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. And so these little elders have been able to teach me so much.
Very cool.
And I'm really excited about my next project that I'm starting to do in conjunction with the school. It's going to be called, it is called, the Wellness Way Revolution, right?
Right.
Because people are losing these old-time ways. And some of them were effective, some of them not so much. That's why we have modern medicine. That's why we have emergency medicine.
Right.
They're both really important. But what we're doing is we're putting a compendium together of all these old ways that's just going to be gifted to the public.
That's awesome.
Because nobody knows how to take care of themselves anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's like you have something, you go see a doctor, you take a pill. And I had this experience, as some of you might know, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2003, 5, whatever. And anyway, I went to a neurologist here in town, and I'm off meds. And I'm not saying get off meds, okay? That was my choice.
Yes,
it was my choice.
Everybody gets to make their own wellness choices.
They couldn't tell me if the medication was even doing anything, or if it was because I changed my lifestyle. So, and I went, and I just wanted. I'd been off my meds for a couple of years or something, And my best friend is shaman, and we actually got rid of the MS, so it's no longer there. And I just wanted to have an MRI done. I didn't care. I mean, I wasn't interested in medication or whatever. I just wanted an MRI done. And I kid you not, I went in his office and I told him, he says, "Why are you here?" I said, "Well, I would like an MRI done." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I've been off my, I was diagnosed with MS. I've been off my meds and I just want to make sure everything, because make sure it's really gone for one." I didn't tell him that. I just wanted to know for me. And he says, "Why did you stop your medication?" I said, "Because I couldn't do the shot anymore. I had to give myself a shot every week, and I alternated legs, and there wasn't enough ice anymore for me to ice my legs, and I just couldn't do it anymore."
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, they couldn't tell me I was doing anything anyway. He says, "Well, we now have oral medication," and blah, and I said, "No, because I don't want the side effects. I'm okay with it. I mean, I've been without anything for over 2 years or 2 years. I don't know how long it was, And he was like, so then why are you here? I said, to get an MRI. He was like, you're not interested in medication? I said, no. I said, well, literally, there's nothing I can do for you. Closed the file and walked out.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, that was a really big eye-opener where I'm going, oh my God. They're really, I mean, I'm not saying all doctors, okay? But there's doctors out there, they're really only interested in pushing the meds.
Yes.
They don't care. And it's like, whoa.
And now, and the nice thing about it is that there are more and more doctors who are starting to look at holistics, right? So I had this old osteopath. He was so cute. He just recently retired. And he was wonderful. He was my doctor, but he also referred people to me. Because I remember when I talked to him, he said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I do body work. He says, well, what kind of body work? I said, well, I do cranial work, I do integrated meridian therapy, I do all these different forms. And he says, oh, how wonderful. He says, I don't do those anymore. He said, so I'm just going to refer my clients onto you because it's really, really helpful. And so I used to work with a lot of his patients that he referred to me. And, you know, with TBIs and all this kind of stuff. But so there's a change in what's happening in Western medicine very slowly. And so, but that's what the Wellness Wave revolution is really about, is it's about gifting all this old knowledge that our grandparents had, our grandmothers had, our aunties, our uncles.
And it worked for millennia.
It worked, yeah, it did. I mean, there are incredible things. Like the other day I was researching, this is really exciting. I was researching because I got bit like 4 or 5 times by a black widow spider.
Ow.
And this is the 3rd time in a year that I've gotten bit by a black widow. Because once
oh, they love you. You're so
they
sweet.
love me. They love me. Well, what happens is that once a black widow spider bites you once, then that poison is in your bloodstream a little bit, just little tiny bits, and they can smell it. So they're more attracted to you, and they'll bite you again.
Also, they really love you now.
They really love me now. I smell like a spider. And so
in a creepy kind of way. But then Halloween is just around the corner.
I know. So I smell like a spider. So about 3 weeks ago, I got bit by a black widow for the 3rd time this year.
In the same year.
In the same year. But this time, this little creepy critter, he got me 4 or 5 times. He bit me 4 or 5 times. So he like injected.
Oh, he was starving.
Oh, he was starving. He was like, oh.
I want what you got.
I know. But usually they don't mess with you unless you interfere with their home space. And I did. I was outside having a picnic at 10 o'clock at night.
Good for you.
You know, and I disturbed this nest. And I got bit like 4 or 5 times on the back of the leg, which is a lot of poison. It's a lot of poison. But I was looking up, you know, well, actually, I didn't look up. I've known for a long time what to do for black widow spider bites. You take the underside leaf of prairie sage, you get it wet, and you make a layer, and you put it on your black widow spider bite, and then you can take Plantago major and Plantago lanceolata, and then you can make a poultice out of that, and you can put that on the sage, and then you bandage it up.
And you have that in your cupboard regularly?
Actually, I do.
Oh.
Because I have all these herbs and remedies.
Right.
And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you could die from that. You need to go to the doctor. And it's like, no, I'm going to treat myself. I've done this multiple times.
So where'd you get them? Where'd you get that?
So you can get it online.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to kick you.
Let's play footsie.
I know we can, because I got the spider blood.
I know.
So you can get them at a lot of different places. You can get so Mountain Rose Herbs is always selling things. So this is one of those things that our ancestors used to know. Now here's the exciting thing about Plantago major, because I was looking it up, right? Because part of the Wellness Wave revolution is it's just going to be gifted to everybody. Everybody can come to the website. Awesome. We're not going to charge a dime for it. It's always going to be free in perpetuity.
You're amazing.
Right there. It's right there in the cover sheet, you know. And so it's what I've been taught over the years by all these elders who gifted me information, and it's a lot of people that I know that are contributing to it, that have old time ways. So, but I was looking at Plantago Major because I want to see, I want to put the contraindications in it too. If you're on this kind of medication, it's probably
Right.
not wise to use this herb, And so I was looking up the contraindications, and it was amazing what this herb could do. The Persians used to use it for seizure disorders. They would put it with lentils and another herb and use Plantago Major for seizure disorders. They also use the roasted seeds of Plantago Major to stop bleeding and hemorrhage.
Oh, wow.
So it's like it's got all these uses. It's
Well,
absolutely
I mean,
amazing.
and Mother Earth has
Yeah.
everything. I mean, food is medicine and medicine is food.
Yes, it is. It's so important.
And we hear that, and what I love, what I'm excited about, we hear this more and more and more and more. And I'm taking a bunch of supplements and they're all herb based.
Yes.
So, and I'm amazed.
Yeah.
And I mean, wow.
Yeah, and one of the things too is where you'll hopefully get herbs and essential oils and that kind of thing. They were never meant to be used long term, because they're really supposed to be used short term in a very
Fix it, move on.
Yep. It's like they have their job. If you continue to use them long term, then they stop being as efficacious. What people don't realize is with essential oils, you can build up essential oil resistance.
Oh,
Bacteria, viruses, a lot of people diffuse them in their homes daily. Well, guess what? Just like antibiotic resistance, there's essential oil resistance, so we never want to use them daily. We just want to use them when we need that pop.
Right.
Right?
Well, it's interesting you say that. I have a CPAP machine because my husband likes to sleep, and with that I don't snore. So, but sometimes I'm congested.
Yes.
So what I do is because it's me. So there's a little filter in the back. It's like a little, I don't even know. It's a filter type thing, and you change it out like monthly.
Yeah.
I put a couple of oils. I have an immune something mix. I put a couple of drops on there, and I inhale that, and I go to sleep, but I can breathe, but I don't do that every day either.
Yeah, and
So-
so when you need it, then it's there for you.
And it works.
And it works because it's supposed to be used, once in a while. Not like, I was a traditional essential oil aromatherapist before a lot of the product-based companies came in. And the old traditional knowledge was essential oils, and this was like in the 80s, or late 80s, early 90s. So the traditional knowledge was, you only use it when absolutely necessary. It is considered the surgery. So do we do surgery every day on our bodies? No, we don't. It's considered the surgery in your medicine cabinet, that you only use it when absolutely necessary, because when you use it, it needs to work. And if we use it every day, it's not going to work. It's we just cut ourselves up with it. And the other thing too is that
it's just like with regular medication. It's like you need to up the dose. 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 I mean, connecting the dots right now.
Yeah, your body gets used to things.
Right.
And that's how our bodies are made. They're chemically made to get used to things. The other thing too is that they don't talk about is essential oils were never to be ingested. There are so many people right now ingesting essential oils. They were never to be ingested. That is false information when they say you can ingest an essential oil.
Wow.
None of the hot oils like oregano, cinnamon, eucalyptus, they are not supposed to be put on your skin. They will burn your skin over time if you do it again and again.
Wow.
And then also for those people who are massage therapists and that kind of thing, they really have to be careful. If you have your hands in essential oils every day, what happens over time is that it does cross the blood-brain barrier. So you can build up toxicity levels in your brain by using essential oils every day.
Wow.
And it will harm cognition. It will do all of these kinds of things.
Interesting.
So
the more you know.
The more you know. So that's what that's just some of the information that's going to be in this manual or in this compendium that we're putting out.
Because essentially we have the capability to heal ourselves. And it's like I'm working on that because all my issues. But I'm thinking maybe you and I should talk a little bit more afterwards.
We should definitely talk. I could probably fix you up with some of my grandma's ways.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, because when we cut ourselves, you get a paper cut or some cut. and you do nothing with it, your body heals it.
It does. It heals it on
It
its own.
heals it on its
Yeah,
own.
it does how.
You know, and if we have something bigger, we put a little ointment on it to
Mhm.
help it heal. So why don't we do that on the big stuff too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's part of our conditioning also. It's
Yes.
like, oh, there's a pill for this and there's that, you can have surgery. And I mean, when I talk surgery, I mean, I had 14 surgeries,
Oh, that's a lot.
you know, in my lifetime. And it's like, after my last one, I had my last one was when I had my lower back fused. And it's like, you know what, I'm done, this is it. There's a better way.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ways. And I was also on, you know, like Vicodin and stuff for pain and everything. And I stopped. I mean, I only take it when I'm really like, you know what, I'm tired, I don't want to deal with it right now, I don't want to do the whole focusing and that I just pop a pill, go to bed, go to sleep, and I'm, like, I know the next day I'm good. But I used to be a daily
Mm-hmm.
thing that I took something, you know, and it got to the point where I'm like, you know what, there's a better way, and yes, there is a better way, and if I can do it,
Mm-hmm.
you can, and yes, you can.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, I mean, there's people that can help.
Well, and the other thing too is, you know, I've used holistic health to heal my own body too. Because 10 years ago, I got into a really bad camping accident. I had encephalitis. I had a bacterial infection in my heart.
See, I don't camp. My
Yeah.
idea of camping is a 5-star hotel with room service.
Oh, so
Anyway.
no. Oh, now my
And that would be one of the reasons.
yeah, so my idea of camping is to go out, not take a bath for like 4 or 5 days,
Yeah.
and just I know the spiders like me. I smell good,
Mm-mm.
and so not you know, and then on that 5th day, go to a 5-star resort and that has a destination spa
Oh,
and go play at
Go
the
full,
spa
go full
for
out,
a day. That's actually how my daughter and I camp, and we've done
Nice.
that for 20 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where we go out and 15. We go out, we camp for 4 or 5 days. We run a brush through our hair. I get online. I make a reservation at a resort hotel with a spa, and then we go
That's awesome.
get pampered at
Well,
the end of
good
our
for
camping
you.
trip.
Good for you.
And that's how I like to camp. So I get the best of both worlds, but I get to be out in nature.
Right.
And so, and that's another thing too, when I go camping, sometimes I love to go out and I love to see the botany in the area because, I've wildcrafted my own remedies for years, right? So when I get bit by a black widow spider, I go out and I look for prairie sage, but only when I get bit because, and this is one of the things that I really want to share with people. People who go out and want to learn the botany, they want to learn to wildcraft, they want to learn to make their own tinctures and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, watch a video. Watch a video, don't make it until you need it, and don't pick that plant
I totally agree.
until you need it. Because what's happening is I've noticed that there are areas that I would go out to before where it was like all this prairie sage was. And the last time I went out to the place that I usually go and pick it, right? And I just pick what I need, not the 30% rule. The 30% rule will decimate a population. That's not how our ancestors picked.
No, only
They
what you
only
need.
picked when
Right.
and what they needed.
Right.
And when only meant if I can't get it in the winter, I'm gonna pick it. I'll make maybe I'll make a syrup or I'll make something out of it, and I'll just take what I'm gonna need for my family that year. Not stockpile it, right?
Well, it loses its potency anyway.
Exactly, it loses its potency. And it's not stockpiling it. And how I do it, especially in the summer, I only pick it if I need it. The rest of the time I'm out there, I'm going to click a picture because we're going to lose all of our botany if we don't do it that way. And the other thing too is in the winter now, I mean, there are so many places. You don't need to go out and pick plants, right?
Right.
And that kind of thing, because you can go to herb stores. Those plants are on that shelf. If you want to make licorice root lozenges, right, which takes slippery elm and licorice root, and that's going to be one of the things that we have in this free compendium that we're going to gift. You can go and you can buy that licorice root. You don't have to, and you can
Right.
buy the slippery elm. You don't have to destroy any plants
Nice.
to do it.
That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
and Frontier Co-op sells herbs, and
Right.
and so there's a lot of different places that sell herbs. So you don't have to go pick our
Nice.
botany. So ethically wildcraft, it's so important.
Yeah. So I want to go back because we got a little
Sidetracked.
squirrel
Yeah.
chasing.
Yeah.
Your camping trip where you had that horrific.
Oh yeah,
Everything 10
I was
years ago, I know what you
unrecognizable.
did. Really.
Oh, I was unrecognizable.
I mean, what happened? Did you fall or did what?
No. I was camping in winter, and
Anyway, we're
I
not
know.
going there now.
I know, you're like, oh my God, are you serious? Well, I was camping in late winter, early spring. Nothing had bloomed out yet. And so, so there were three things that happened all simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
So we were camping in winter.
That was a choice.
That was a choice, and it was really
Not one I would make, but clearly,
it was a fun trip. It was really a fun camping trip. I enjoyed myself so much.
Good.
And so nothing had bloomed out yet, and so we didn't realize that there's just these little stems that hadn't bloomed yet. It was poison oak.
Oh.
So I had poison oak, and if I'm allergic to something, I have what's called latent onset anaphylaxis. It takes me days to realize I'm allergic to something, but if I get too much in my system, it starts putting me into anaphylactic shock, which is where your throat closes down and it swells your brain up, and it's just not fun, right? And
I never experienced it, but I know.
Yeah, but it's latent onset. Most people have quick onset, which is like they get
Instant.
bit by a bee,
And
10
then know
minutes, and their throat's closed off.
Right.
Mine is not. Latent onset, always been beautiful for me before because I could always tell when I was getting it. But when you're winter camping, you get like little sore throats when you wake up. So I thought that my little sore throat was from the cold weather.
Oh.
So, because that's normal with camping,
Right.
with dry air and everything. And so, and then the next thing that happened is I had sunscreen on that I was allergic to. And then the third thing...
Did you know that at the time?
No, I didn't know that at the time, yeah. I'd used it before several times, but like I said, I have latent onset, so sometimes it takes a while for it to happen.
And then there's also that combination of things, like you may not be allergic to this and that, or that, but when they combine, it's like...
Yeah,
Right.
and then the third thing that happened is that I got lye in my eyes. And so water and ash from a fire creates lye.
Okay.
And I was like
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. And you can make lye soap out of that though. I used to make my own lye soap.
Until you find out you're allergic.
Well, I still make lye soap.
Okay.
I just use rubber gloves and
Okay.
a little mask and stay away from the fumes.
All right.
And you have to anyway. So I love, I practice what I preach. I love making my old grandma's,
Nice.
remedies and doing things the old-fashioned way. So, but I'm allergic to lye. Well, everybody's allergic to lye. Lye is poison. But I was camping and somebody threw water on the fire and the ash came up into my eyes.
Oh, wow.
And so water and ash combined creates lye. And so between those three things, I had the perfect storm going on in my body. And
you overachiever, you.
I know. If I'm
you don't mess around. If you do it, you do it all the way.
If I do it, I am going to do it right. So I decided to do three things that were deadly for me instead of just one of three. So I had the little perfect storm. I literally blew up overnight like the blueberry girl in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You know how big she got? And she was purple. So I was maroon red. And so I swelled up.
Do you have any pictures?
Huge. I do, but they're on a... I do.
I
know. They're on a cell phone that died years ago. I can't even get to them.
Oh, no.
But I remember somebody said, well, take a picture. I want to see what you look like. I was like, no way. And they begged me to. I said, okay.
I bet you can plug it in and get it off.
Yeah, well, I'd have to find the right battery that could go back and recharge it. But it's in one of my old phones. And so I took a picture and I said, here I am. He goes, oh my God, you don't even look like you. I was. So, but this woman, she was 82 at the time. She came in. She fed me. She nursed me back to health. She would come in. She would take care of me.
No, we were at home then, or
this
in the
was at
hospital?
home.
Okay.
Yeah, because I went to the hospital first.
Okay.
And almost died and felt myself floating above my body and the whole 9 yards. And
I mean, it's kind of cool, but kind of scary.
It was kind of scary at the same time.
It's kind of cool too. It's
yeah. I remember.
It's like, what the fire truck? Yeah.
I know. And it was so funny because the fireman did come to my house, right?
Oh man.
I know. And it was so funny because the firemen always used to drive past my house when I was like younger, you know. And they would always drive past my house, and I was always outside working in my yard. And they would drive past every day, and I'm thinking, what is this about? But I lived on a pretty major thoroughfare, so I thought, well, but they're in a residential neighborhood. Why are they going past the house every day in a residential neighborhood? But I would always wear shorts and that kind of stuff, and so.
Well, now you know why.
I know. Well, no, I didn't. I didn't know.
Joking.
I didn't know until I looked like the blueberry, girl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so these firemen came to my house, and I said, I really don't look like this. I look like that picture over there, and I just,
Oh.
I this was not what was supposed to happen, and I was so delirious because my brain was swollen so much. And one of the firemen said, "Oh, miss, don't worry, we know what you look like." I about died laughing, and it dawned on me. They've been driving by my house, and this was when I was in my 30s, and
That's
and had
funny.
my size 5 body. But it was so funny, and oh yes, we know what you look like, and it dawned on me. They're driving by my house so they can see me in my bikini top while I'm out doing the
That's just
yard.
wrong.
I know, but it was
That's
kind
just
of
wrong, but-
flattering too.
well, yeah.
I'm 51 now, so that's flattering now. It's like, okay, I can look back in
Right.
15 years ago, but.
And things were different then.
Yeah, so but I was floating above my bed, my body in the hospital, and I heard the nurses saying she's not responding. And I thought, oh. And then they said, well, what do we do next? And they said, well, we're trach. And then she was a fairly new nurse, and they're right outside my hospital, emergency room. And then she said, well, what happens if the tracheotomy doesn't work? And she says, well, this woman's going to die.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, and so I'm listening to this as I'm floating above my body, and I'm thinking, I can't die. I have a 9-year-old that I still have to raise. And so
And back down you went.
and I willed myself to come back to where I was, and it was painful. It was painful for 2 years. It was.
Oh, I bet.
It was an excruciating ride for the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I used alternatives. I used what I knew. I used nutrition. I used everything that I
Less side
possibly could.
effects too, huh?
And I didn't use. I took steroids to stop the reactions.
Right.
For 2 weeks, and then they wanted me to be on those for the rest of my life, and I said no. I just needed it to stop the reaction because there wasn't going to be anything that stopped that reaction. Now, what I did do in the hospital, and I've done this several times when I've had life-threatening things, because that's not the first time I've done something stupid.
You are an overachiever.
I am an overachiever. I've almost died multiple times.
I'm glad you're here.
I am too.
So stop that now.
I know.
No more.
I know, but what happens is if you control your breathing,
Mhm.
if you can, and there's a way, I don't know, it just automatically happens that you just get into the Zen moment in your body when you're in an emergency room, then your system slows down and things balance out. Your cells become less frenetic. Because now, and there's a whole other thing. I love cellular intelligence. So I'm writing a book on that right now,
nice.
too. So your cells become less frenetic, and your cells then know what to do because you don't heal in the flight, fight, or freeze mode.
Right.
Your cells cannot help you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you calm yourself down and get into the rest digest phase, then your body can actually start healing and it can start going into the processes that it needs to.
Right.
So here I am, in this emergency room going, can't breathe, I'm in pain. And then I hear that she's going to probably die. I thought, oh, I'm in flight, fight, or freeze.
Oh, hell no.
Zen moment. And I've done that multiple times in emergency rooms. And then I've been able to calm my system down. And it was amazing and miraculous what the body can do. Because as soon as I went into that place...
Oh, I think our bodies are the
my
most
body
incredible
switched out.
machines ever.
My body switched out. It did what it needed to do. I was going to get a blood transfusion after my daughter was born because I was losing so much blood. And I'm thinking, I don't want a blood transfusion. Zen. And my bleeding stopped in about 15 minutes, and I didn't need the blood transfusion. It didn't stop completely.
You guys watching this, there's a little bit more to that. You
Oh,
can't
much
just
more.
go like Zen and then,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you go like, well, I saw it on Beanie's show and da 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 da.
And I go, Zen.
That's
No.
not how that works.
No,
There's more to it.
Yeah.
You know,
have
but
to-
I mean,
yeah.
what we're saying is that you have the ability to heal yourself. You have, and that there's natural things out there.
Yes.
You don't have to get the surgery. You don't have to do the pills and everything. And I'm not saying don't. We're not saying don't.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because that gets to be a wellness choice that everybody
Right.
makes. How do you want to do your wellness?
Exactly. And my thing too is like, listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. If you're listening to your doctor and everything inside you is screaming something different, your body knows.
Yeah.
I've learned that because I've been sitting in doctor's office and they were telling me this, that, and the other, and I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I no, and I mean, you know, I pick up the pills, but I don't take them a lot of times because I'm just like, everything inside me, but that's me, and that's her.
Yes.
You need to do what works for you, and if you believe in Western medicine and all of that stuff, then please do that. Please do that. But check into the other stuff too.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, if you do
because
Western
it worked
medicine,
for millennia. I mean,
you know,
it's just
Western medicine is good. It kept me alive.
right.
Emergency medicine is wonderful.
It is amazing.
I loved
yes.
it when those firemen showed up at my house in more ways than one. And the EMTs that were there, they were
Right.
very wonderful. They kept me alive. Emergency
But
medicine
it's
is here for a
that
reason.
long term
Yes.
that, you know, and then if the side effects, the possible side effects are worse
Yeah.
than what you're taking it for in the first place, you might want to rethink.
Well, and
That's
yeah.
my thing. It's like, you know, it's like if I have a headache and I take, you know, and this one can take it away, but the side of, and I mean, when I say I always giggle, it's not the funny ha-ha giggle, it's the holy wow giggle. Well, one of the side effects could cause death. Why would I want to take that?
Exactly. Well, and that's the other thing too. You know, you are your best healthcare advocate.
Yes.
And so you need to really research and look into things because I have done mainstream medicine. It's kept me alive, and I've done alternatives too. But you have to find the right person who knows what they're doing and is actually experienced. There's a lot of people that promote sales and they promote products. If they are just selling one product from one line, I always tell people, go to somebody who doesn't have skin in the game.
Right.
If you're going to work with a practitioner, ask them, how many different lines do you use? Do you just use one company's line, or do you use, and I'm writing a book on how to be your own best self-advocate right now. So, or do you use multiple products? If they use multiple products and they know what they're doing with multiple products, and they've probably got a lot of education. You also want to know, what kind of education have they had? They don't have to have formal education. Maybe they learned from somebody who was practicing for 40 or 50 years.
Right.
And that person who's been practicing for 40 or 50 years mentored them and trained them. That's how a lot of us have come up in the years. And now we're starting to have formal training programs like the one that I have. You know, now what I've learned over the years from all these incredible mentors, you know, I'm putting out there, you know, to the public.
But in a sense, I mean, you're doing the same thing that you learn from your mentors because you've been practicing for so long.
Oh, yeah.
You're just now putting it into a format that can be duplicated and people can take.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's really the only difference.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
That's the only difference. It's like you didn't go to, you know, you don't have 5 million letters behind your name that says, oh, because I have those letters, I'm qualified. No,
it doesn't make anyone qualified. Either they have it or they don't.
Right.
Either they have the knowledge or they don't. And that's what you have to look at.
Yeah, always, and I tell people too, is like, ask questions and don't feel weird about it. Ask questions. If you don't get the answers you want and they're not satisfactory, find somebody else. Listen to your gut.
Yeah.
It's your well-being, it's your life, it's your choice.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. It's like, you know, I mean, people tell me this, that, and the other, and I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah, well, and another thing too that's very, very important is if you're on any kind of mainstream medicine or even herbal supplement, doesn't matter, you need to look up the contraindications and the warnings on anything you take. So if you're on mainstream medication, you're going to look up the side effects for those medications. You'll be really surprised. Maybe you go and you get on one medication that is supposed to help you with heart issues, but then you can't sleep at night, so then you get on a second medication that helps you sleep at night, But the
Which
side
causes
effect,
you something else, and
yeah, but maybe that medication actually causes mass depression in people. It causes
right.
depression, and you become homicidal because some sleeping aids make you depressed. So go out, always look up the side effects, because then you can watch for, am I having these side effects? You know, and then if I do, then I can talk to my doctor again about, this isn't working, it's giving me the side effect, what
Right.
else can we do?
And the other thing too, I'm going to interject here, because I had doctors tell me, it's like, well, that's not possible because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm sorry, you lived in my body for how long?
Yeah.
You know your body better than anybody.
Yes.
There's no doctor, no, I don't care how long they've been practicing and what their specialty is or whatever, it doesn't matter. They don't know your body because they never lived in your body. Nobody knows your body better than you do.
Yes.
And I know my body and I know your body will give you signals of discomfort, dis-ease, there's something going on.
Yeah, and you have to listen.
You listen.
You absolutely have to listen.
Because, and the other thing too is like, I love it, you go in because, and here's a prime example. I went in, I had my knee replaced in I had my left knee replaced twice now. The first time was in 2000. I mean, it was really, there was no cartilage, it was like this. So, and then in 2012 or something, we were already living here in Colorado. I was having excruciating pain again in that leg. And I was like, it was excruciating. So I went to, because it was knee pain, so I go see the orthopedic surgeon. And I literally told him, I said, you figure out what's going on, you know, fix what's going on, or I'm going to draw the dotted line for you. I was ready to have them take my leg off just to get rid of the pain. So he went in, I had the surgery. He went in, I woke up with my leg still attached. I'm like, yay. So what happened
you
was...
didn't cut your leg off.
I know, right?
Talk about an overachiever. Just cut it off.
That's how bad the pain I was in. And so he replaced the knee, and according to him, the parts in there were so loose he was able to pull them out with a sense, which is really gross. But after I had the surgery, I still had that pain.
Yes.
Until I had my lower back fused.
Oh.
It came from my back.
And not your knee.
It had nothing to do with my knee.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the things.
And a lot of times, we're treating the symptoms and not the cause.
Yeah.
And we're masking the symptoms because, you know, if we mask it and we don't feel it, it's gone. No, it's not. Keep asking those questions because it's in our body, everything is connected. And, you know, with, like I said, I had 14 surgeries and all the stuff that I have going on. I have learned that it's all connected. If I treat one thing and if I find the cause, the root, it takes care of so much.
You know, one of the things that I do teach at the school is I teach advanced body work.
Nice.
So and this is really important for everyone to know. If you have carpal tunnel, it's usually, so it's like there's a law of horizontalism, right?
Okay.
So if you have carpal tunnel, it's usually a problem in your pelvis. If you have elbow pain, it's usually a problem in your thoracics. If you have shoulder pain, there's usually one of the stem causes is from your neck. And so, and if you have knee pain,
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you have knee pain, it throws your gait off. So it's
it throws everything.
It's usually coming from your pelvis. So your pelvis is this foundational bowl that runs everything.
Oh, I know, I'm a twisted sister.
Yeah. Oh, you're a twisted sister. Oh, believe me, I know. You keep growling at me like a cougar. Because you like my spider blood. I think I made you blush.
It happens. I think it's a reflection of it.
I think it is. Yeah, that's wonderful. I totally made you blush. So there's this body peace connection too that's very, very important. Right. That if your structure is off, you know, in your pelvis, then it's going to throw everything.
And I know
off.
mine is off.
Yeah.
I know mine is off, and that's why you and I need to talk.
We do need to talk.
You know, I'm over all this, and well, I don't also believe in coincidences.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, and again, I've known Kim for a number of years now, and I kind of sort of knew what she did. You know, but it's like, I guess I wasn't ready. Well, I'm ready now.
Oh,
So you and I
wonderful.
were talking.
Oh, I know. Well, and the other thing too is, I still practice occasionally. Well, I still practice with some people who are like those really hard cases.
That's Beth Holman.
Yeah, the special one. So I still practice occasionally, more with the somatic trauma release
Right.
than the integrative meridian therapy. But what we do have here in the community in Colorado Springs, my goal is, because I do have a national school, I want to see a sliding scale fee student clinic in every corner of every state, so that way people can get the help that they need.
I love it because it is so necessary. And again, I mean, I fully believe, because I'm doing it and I've seen it, you know, there's so much we can do ourselves without anything, just with our mindset, you know. And it's like, because if we keep what we think, and I keep saying that too, what you think about, you bring about. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm hurting, well, you're gonna be hurting.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like.
And there's a physiological reason for that.
Wow.
Did you know that? This is really interesting. I'm really into science. I like how science.
Does it have to do with the reticular activating system?
Wow, those are incredible words. Can you say that again?
The reticular activating system.
Maybe not. It does have to do with a lot of neural net pathways. Is
Well,
that part of the
there's
reticular activating system?
Right, there's actually cells, nerve brain, whatever cells, right in the back of our brain here.
Yeah.
And they get activated. And the example I use is like, you want this dream car. The model and the color, nobody has it, and it's like, yeah, it's mine. As soon as you drive that sucker off the lot, everybody has that. That's a reticular activating system. As soon as you think about it, it's like, oh, that's what you want to focus on. Bam, here you go. That's what that is.
Okay, so yes, it is.
In a nutshell.
Yes, it is basically the same thing.
Okay.
So I call it the vagal nerve and the vagal nerve response. So it's a little bit different because I'm coming from more of a physiological perspective. You're coming more of a thought processing and manifestation.
I'm a nerd. I do both.
Yeah,
I'm a scientific woo-woo.
Yeah. So me too. I like that. So one of the things that happens is when you think of a pain pattern, right? Your brain runs that pain pattern over and over again. And so a pain pattern can start out very small. It can be like a little creak. And then the more you think about it, because our brains don't differentiate between pain and joy.
Nope.
Right? They do not have any concept.
Well, our brain really doesn't add value to it,
Yeah.
except the value we add to it.
Exactly. And that value is in how are we living our lives? Are we living our lives in vibrant ways, or are we living our lives in pain patterns? So the more we run a thought, and the brain also doesn't differentiate between physical pain and emotional pain.
Right.
It sees it as the same. So the more we run a pain pattern thought, regardless what it is, it becomes deeper and deeper and deeper ingrained, and it becomes the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And so with the body work that we do in our sliding scale fee student clinic, then we go in and we help re-educate the brain not to be running that pain pattern anymore. And then we also work on a very physiological basis where we just gently and sweetly and easily slide the body back into where it really wants to be.
That's awesome.
And so instead of deep tissue or forceful body work or anything like that, we want to find ease in the body and where your body's happy.
I like happy.
I know.
I'm all about the happy.
And when we find where your body is happy, usually it will stay there. And so that's what I teach my students to do. So is to come away from pain patterns in the body.
Nice.
And
I love that.
and it's very, very effective. So and what I was sharing with you earlier, Beanie, is that we have a sliding scale fee student clinic where those people who can afford to pay, they do.
I love that.
And then those people who can't afford to pay, they just come with unconditional love, but the condition that if you come, you are going to actively participate in your healing and in your life in order to get better.
There's no freebies.
Yeah, so
no freebies.
So that way you bring yourself out of that place that you're in, and then you can spread the joy to other people. you know,
And it's important because we have to be willing, because you
Yes.
can only help those who want the help.
exactly.
Because I mean, there's so many out there. It's like, oh, help me, help me. No, they want just sympathy and they want the attention.
Yes.
Big difference.
And there's a reward for that people get.
Oh, that's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah, so
oh my
there's
God.
chemistry that goes
I should
off
say,
in your brain.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's just really, there's so much you can do yourself with your body and with your mind and the whole, I mean, the yogis, they know it. And yoga is not just about the movement.
No.
It is so much more. And I
it's
actually did a
it's
show.
internal.
I actually did a show with a yogi,
Oh,
and she
wonderful.
does like a 5 or 10 minute quick yoga thing, and it
Mhm.
really. But anyway, I got dog hair. But anyway, I mean but you can do so much. I'm not saying, like, oh, Beanie said I can heal myself, so I'm not doing this and that anymore.
Oh no, you gotta move your feet and move your seat.
No,
Yeah.
we're not saying that.
Yeah, you
Not
have to
ever.
take action always.
You have to take action, but do what goes in sync with you. Listen to your gut. You know your body better than anybody. Listen to your inner self or your higher self, and take the inspired action. And when you go see your doctor, question it. Question them. It's like, why? What are the side effects? Blah, 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 blah. All of those things. Ask the questions. And if you're not satisfied, if it doesn't resonate with you, it's your body telling you it's not for you.
Yes.
It never fails. Because there's many times I ignored it because I listened to the doctors because they know everything. That was way before 14 surgeries ago. They know everything. And then I ended up being more miserable.
Yes.
And because I didn't listen, and everything inside me said, no, 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 no. Well, now I know. Now I'm listening. And I'm asking you guys do the same thing. It's okay to ask questions. And if they get offended, they're not your people. I don't care what they say.
And it's even okay to ask questions with alternative practitioners.
Everything.
It's important.
Ask questions anyway. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's medicine, anything in life, ask questions. Ask questions.
Yeah.
And there's no stupid question. The only stupid question is the question that's not being asked. My opinion.
Yeah, mine too.
But there's just so much.
Yeah, and going back to that Zen moment, right? I want to go back to the Zen moment, and I want to share with everybody that's watching this, is I have been practicing the internal arts of judo and the healing arts of judo for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So when I went to that place in my body, I knew where I was going. I knew how to do it, and I've developed that practice over the years. So it's not something
It's not
that
like you can Google real quick and do it.
you can't Google it and look up Zen moment. You can't Google Kim's Zen moment and
But you
do
can
it.
learn.
You can learn.
Find a practitioner, find somebody, and ask the questions. It's like, and sometimes we don't, I get it, sometimes we don't know what questions to ask, and then just like become that forensic scientist, It's like, what do you want to get out of it?
Yes.
And start from there.
Yeah.
You know?
And don't believe everything on Google. What I always say is Google
What?
it. Yes, I know. So I always say Google it, but then find the scientific papers that go along with it.
Oh, always. And don't
yeah.
just go like, and I mean, I love Google.
I do too.
And I learned this phrase. I went to a mastermind.
Yeah.
And it's like, Google makes you smarter. I like that.
Yes.
But anyway, what I do when I Google something, of course I'm looking for the answer that I want to see. Doesn't mean it's the right one.
Yes.
But I always look for multiple sources.
Yeah.
And, and sometimes I look at it and it's like one is saying this and the other is saying the complete opposite. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just an opinion. And then I go dig deeper and I ask you guys to do the same thing.
Yes, and the other thing too is one of the things with SEO now that's so prevalent is that is sometimes there will be the same article and it's just copy pasted in another blog or took that article.
Right.
And so you're seeing these articles come up that are SEO driven by keywords, right?
Right.
How to cure this, and then 5 pages are going to come up and you're going to see the same things over
Yes.
and over again. So then you
Pay attention.
then you take what you learn and you say, okay, then what happens, or the dangers. So you look up the dangers, let's say Plantago Major. What are the dangers of Plantago Major? So you're not just looking at the cure, you're looking at the danger
Right.
too. And that's so very, very
It is,
important.
it is.
Because with SEO, the way they have it now, they can bypass our brain.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
And they can make it where you're only finding that information that's going to be complimentary, and you need to have everything so you can make a valid choice.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, but anyway, we gotta like cut this
Yes.
here.
Okay.
I mean, I could talk with you all day.
I know this has been fun.
This
Thank
is
you
awesome.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Kim.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, and I'm so glad you're part of my tribe. I really am. It's like
I'm really glad to be with
I
you
love
too.
you.
And just real quickly for everybody out there who would want to, there will be a page soon at www.advancedtherapyinstitute.net that says the Wellness Way Revolution, and then that's where you can get that compendium.
cool. And I'll
it's-
put that in
yeah.
the in the credits then.
yeah
also
yeah.
too,
And
so.
yeah, that would
Cool.
be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Guys, see, you can. Yes, you can. You can heal yourself with the right information. So, awesome. Hope you found value in this. And if you want to find out more, you can get my book, for instance, on my website, mattersofperspective.com. And I'm working on putting together a membership site too.
Oh, wonderful.
For people. So it's all coming. Keep checking my website regularly. And thank you so much for watching. As always, be happy, be kind, be love. Bye.
Bye.